Once you've added lube to your stick about 4 to 5 times, you should perform an oil change. We recommend 15 to 20,000 bounces, or something like 1 month between oil changes if you bounce frequently. The reason you should do this every once in a while is because these holes are going to suck in dirt while you bounce, causing your lubricant to turn into a dirty, sticky grease. That's going to make your pogo stick slow down and require more effort to bounce. Before that happens, you should give it a proper cleaning, which takes about 10 minutes. To do an oil change, you'll need some lube. We recommend baby oil gel because it's cheap, easy to find, and smells like you're bouncing through a field of flowers. And if you can't find this, Vaseline and baby oil are good alternatives. Some rubbing alcohol, lots of paper towels, and last but not least, our super secret high-tech weapon, ramrod. It's basically like a broom handle with a sock duct tape to it. Before you work on your stick, remove the air and push the tip into the stick so that it's in travel mode. This is really, really important. Don't ever take your stick apart when there's air inside of it. A good rule of thumb is that if you can't see the shaft, there's no air. Use the 3/16" Allen wrench to remove the cylinder bolts and then pull your foot peg assembly out of the shell. You have to rotate the pegs back and forth because it's a tight fit and pull really hard. Once you get the foot peg free, you'll have to hold the fill valve down as you remove the foot peg assembly from the cylinder shell. It's going to be a tight fit, and you may need to stand on the foot pegs themselves and do a curl to get it out properly. Take your foot pegs and set them down on your paper towels. They're going to be covered in a nasty gunk, and you don't want to get everything all dirty. We need to remove the bounce pad, so take your 1/4" Allen wrench, and what we do is we get it into place and then we hold down on the foot pegs and we break free the lock that we put on it. We put these on really tight so they're not going to fall off when you bounce. Take your bounce pad and set it aside. After that, we're going to take the shaft and we're going to pull real hard and pull it out of the foot pegs. Set the pegs aside, and then we're going to take the donut and we're going to pull that off the shaft as well. You've got everything at this point disassembled. Before we get into cleaning everything, we need to remove the seal from the piston so that you can inspect it and protect it. The way we do it is we pinch the seal together until it bulges out of the groove, and then we use our other finger to pry it off. Take this little guy off, and then give it a good look over to make sure there's no scratches in it, because scratches mean air leaks. Use rubbing alcohol and some paper towels to give everything a thorough cleaning. We want to make sure to get all the gunk and grease and grime off of your shaft, off of your piston, your shock absorber, and your bushing. The last thing you need to do is clean the cylinder shell. Use ramrod to wipe it down, and with a little bit of elbow grease, it'll be nice and clean. After wiping it down, make sure to take a look inside of the cylinder to ensure that there's no dirt or debris left over. Add the lubricant to the cylinder. You really can't put too much into it, but we recommend using about the equivalent of filling the piston up 1/4 inch of the way. For those of you who have the V4 Pro and want to step it up to the next level, we've designed the bushing to be mod ready out of the box. All you need to do at this point is take some Vaseline and get a nice healthy dose on your finger, and then squish it into each of the 4 holes in the bushing. Make sure to clean up any excess. The reason you want to do this is because the Vaseline will melt while you bounce and then get trapped up against the shaft and automatically lubricate it to make it nearly frictionless. Now that we've got everything nice and clean, it's time to reassemble the pogo stick. Put your seal back onto the piston and then put the shock absorber back onto the shaft. Once you've got that, slide the shaft into the foot peg. Push your foot peg assembly back into the cylinder, and remember that this is a very tight fit, so you're going to have to help guide the O-ring back into it and then let some air out while you push the pegs into the stick. And finally, you're going to line up the pegs with the handlebars and get the holes as close as you can by eyeballing it. Hand tighten the bolts around the bottom of the cylinder. We like to do them about 3 turns to know that we're not going to strip them when we use the Allen key. Some of them are going to be a little tighter than others, and you might need to use the tool to get them into place. Now that we have all the bolts finger tight, it's time to lock them into place. We're going to use the 3/16 wrench. We're going to tighten the first one down hand tightened. Then we're going to flip the pogo stick a 180, and we're going to hand tighten the next one. What we're trying to do is push the pegs in a little bit with the first bolt, and then lock it into place with the other so that the pegs are centered between the cylinder. Once we've got those in place, we're going to repeat the same process on the next 2 bolts. So we flip it 90, and we lock this guy into place, and then we're going to hit the opposite bolt, and now we're going to lock the foot pegs from this way and this way. From there, it's time to tighten each of the others, and we don't want to put them in too much. We just want to make sure that they're snug and they're not going to loosen up while we bounce. Take the bounce pad and put it onto the shaft, and then use the 1/4 inch Allen wrench to screw it down. What we like to do is we hold on to the pegs and we use the Allen wrench and we cinch down really tight on it, because we want to make sure that the bounce pad does not fall off while we're in the air. Well, that's all there is to an oil change. Once you perform this process, you're going to be surprised that your pogo stick bounces better than brand new, because now it's squeaky clean and it's broken in. Enjoy the flight.